Let me give her some. Let me give her some bundles. Give her some bundles.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Okay, Let's Talk. Today we'll be talking about losing your virginity. And to talk about that, today I have my little brother, Malik. So my brother is
22.
He's 22.
Yeah.
He just recently lost his virginity, and so he asked me to talk about it because he wants to talk about a little bit some things that he felt like were awkward or uncomfortable, or like things he wants to learn about. And why not talk to you as I'm talking to him, sort of giving him like the talk. So let's get started.
Are you ready to jingle your bells? Let's do this.
So we're talking about losing your virginity. How do you feel about that?
Still a little awkward, but yeah.
It's a little awkward.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Okay. So like, explain to me why it was awkward. Like, go through the whole thing, but just spare us, like, we don't need to hear how many pubic hairs you have.
Oh. Okay. So we went to go to the movies and started off pretty nice. We actually started watching the movie. And
wait, you had sex in the movie theater?
No, it started there.
Oh! Okay.
That's where it started.
Okay!
So that's why it was a little awkward, where I was like, okay, it's my first time. I'm like going to the movies with a girl. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little weird. She grabs my hand because she's clearly done it before. So I'm like, oh, okay. She grabs my hand. And she's like, oh, okay, puts it on her like thigh, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And I'm like watching the movie. I'm actually focused on the movie. She's like trying to make moves. I'm literally watching the movie. I'm like, okay, I think I'm supposed to be doing something here. So I'm like, just have my hand on her thigh. And she's like, oh, your hands are cold. So she like puts my hand in between both of her thighs. So I'm like, oh, okay. I get the hint, and I'm like, oh, okay, now something might be happening. So stuff starts to happen, and we go out of the movie theater, and we make it home, and I'm like, oh, so what do you want to do? And I'm like, she's like, oh, I don't know, let's watch some Netflix comedy. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I definitely blanked out. I was like, Netflix and chill, maybe. Is that happening or nah? And it's like, actually gonna watch Netflix. So we actually started watching Netflix comedy, Mike Epps, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty funny. And then she starts trying to like make moves, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing that. All right. So we're making moves and stuff's happening, and I'm like, she's like, oh, do you have condoms? I'm like, fuck, I forgot the condoms.
Oh my god.
she's
just in the moment, you're like, okay,
yeah.
Now let's stop. Hold on. Pause, let's stop. I've never done this before. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Sorry,
Literally.
pause. Push pause.
The most awkward thing of my life. I'm like, literally, I don't know if I could say that on YouTube. I'm like, I'm pretty done. I'm like not in, but you know, I'm like there, and we're like,
oh, you're like ready.
Yeah,
okay,
and I'm like,
okay.
and like, we're like, oh, we don't have condoms, so we're sitting there like for like 5 minutes just messing around. We're like, all right, she's like, all right, let's go. And we're like, so we get dressed and we go to Walmart, and we're like, this is ghetto. In the aisle to get the condoms because they're behind a locker for some reason. People steal condoms.
So. I don't know, but I feel like maybe they don't. Maybe that Walmart or whatever. It's like, we want to be wholesome. Like, we don't want kids buying condoms, so you gotta ask for it. And you look young, so did they were like, hello, young man, how old are you? Like,
no, it was the most awkward thing ever because we weren't trying to be like, we need condoms. Yeah, we're gonna walk in because me and her are pretty awkward. They're like, oh, we need you to open one of these cases over here. just one of these to open. So the guy's like, I don't have my keys. So he's paging somebody else, like, Pam on the loudspeaker, and we're both like, fucking God. He's like, Pam, can you call to whatever that station was called, and we're like, let's just get out of here. I can't.
You didn't buy the condoms?
No, we didn't buy them at Walmart. We
okay,
went across the street to the liquor store. It was still awkward. We were like, because it's behind the counter, so we're like peeking over the counter, like, oh, which ones do we
it's your
want?
first time, so you're like, I don't know which one.
Yeah, and I'm asking her, and she's like, I can't, because she said she couldn't have like a certain kind, so I was like asking her, like, which ones do you accept, and she's do you accept? And like, oh, let's get these fire and ice, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, and that's like never really heard of that.
But is she allergic to latex or?
Yeah, I think that's what she was trying to tell me.
Oh, okay.
So she's like allergic to that, so I was making sure that she was gonna be okay and with something like that. So made sure that she was good, and we got those. Those still kind of awkward. I was like, shit. My mom's gonna see this purchase. And we got home, and we're casually just undressing, like talking to each other, like, yeah, like this day, and we're like, we're just like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right. I'm like, shit. We have to have music. Isn't it like what people do when they have sex? They put on music. So I'm like, what do you want to listen to? I was literally about to put on like some like hardcore rap. Like that. I was like, all right. So
what do you need music for?
Don't people have music when they have sex? I don't know. That's what I see in the movies. So I just
I'm doing it wrong. Anyway.
So we put on some music to set the mood, I guess. So I'm like, all right, how do I do this? I'm like taking off my clothes. She's already like ready, and I'm like still like in my underwear. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, about putting on the condom. She's like, take off your underwear. And I was like, standing there just awkwardly. And I'm like, I've never been naked in front of somebody that wasn't already in my family. So I'm like, standing there like, okay, like slowly take off my underwear. I'm like, this is so weird. And she's like, you gonna put the condom on? I'm like, yeah. So she's like trying to help me out, put the condom on. I'm like, this is just too weird. And it's like, she's like, you gotta get hard first. I'm like,
oh my god.
Just like dying.
But you guys, okay, so you didn't wait until you got back to where you were before you
No, we
you
were
just like immediately straight in, like just like, all right.
Like I said, because like before when we were messing around, she was already still ready, and I was like, oh, okay. So let me just go in with my hands. All right, that might work. So I was doing that for a bit, and that worked. So she was just like, I was like, all right, I think I'm ready. So I put it on, I put the condom on. I successfully did it. She helped me out, and I was like, all right, let's do this. And as soon as I was about to go, and I was like, I'm not feeling it. And then just instantly I was gone. I was like, oh my god!
You got nervous?
Yeah. I was like, babe, I can't get it up. And she's like, no, it's okay. So like I tried again. I'm like, all right, let's go for it right here this time. And I'm like, no. I'm like, most awkward feeling ever. And I was like, I don't know about this.
This is some fucked up ass shit.
Okay, so like, I'm just, after the third time trying, you just like you didn't want to give up, or?
No, because quitting is bad. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe she'll try to be on top. And I was like, that's something new. And I was like, okay, let's try that. So that worked for a bit, and I was like, okay. But it still wasn't the same. I was just like, this just still doesn't feel right. I'm like, alright, this is weird. And she was just like, alright. And then I have a curtain on the right side, like next to my bed, and as soon as like we were moving around, of course, and that hit, and it fell, and she was like,
I think somebody trying to set me up. I believe that.
Like we both got up, we were like, alright, yeah, we're done. It was just like super weird. I was like, yeah, okay. So like we're putting on our clothes and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I didn't do anything. She's like, no, you're good, it's okay, it's your first time. And like I was like, she's like consoling me, like giving me a hug and kisses, and I was like, oh, thank you, you're so nice. And she's like, yeah, it's just your first time, you're nervous. I was like, definitely. I was so nervous. I was like, oh my god, I've like never seen another human that wasn't on the computer naked. So I'm just like, this is just too weird to me. I'm like, okay, let's just go with that. So we got food after, and she was like, oh wow, like you're so nice and sweet. Like I was like, oh, is there a next time? She was like, yeah, of course. I was like,
I just wanna rollie with a dapper.
I get to redeem myself.
Okay.
So that was pretty much it, like what happened.
Wow. I mean, I promised him that I would tell him my losing my virginity story, but it's not really as like grand as that. I actually lost my virginity at 13. Nobody knows. I had a friend. She's my best friend, and she came. First of all, don't get it twisted. I'm not a gold star gay. I dated girls. I had sex with girls, so I'm not a gold star gay.
Playa.
Anyway, so she came over, as she always did. She came over every day, and we were looking at porn on my computer, which I feel like is actually a big thing for young children who intend to have sex. They learn from porn, but they don't realize that like porn is a fantasy. Porn is supposed to be something that's like outlandish, and you know, that's why the reactions are like that or whatever. And when you're actually doing it, as you saw, it's not the same thing.
Not the same.
So we were watching porn, and I'm pretty sure it was some crazy stuff, because I feel like I was into some weird like E-Bombs World, all this crazy weird stuff. I know it was a video of like this guy with a bat that was like using a bat to penetrate a girl, and anyway, she was like sitting on my lap as we were watching this, and we're watching this as like a like hey, look at this is funny type thing.
Yeah.
And so then she starts to like move her Kegel muscles, and like she's like, do you feel that? Do you feel that? And I'm like, yeah, girl, you're on my lap. What do you mean? And then it just kind of happened from there. Like, but it wasn't as awkward as yours, because she kind of took over and like did everything.
Yeah.
And we're 13, so like she knew, and I knew she was like this, but like she knew what she was doing. She knew exactly what she was doing. So like after that, it just. It was what it was, and I not that I regret it, but I think that like maybe I wanted it to be with someone that I was actually with, or like have an experience where like they cared. But she kind of just did her thing, and she was like, anyway, so we're done. Like, I was like, okay, so like, you want to go to the store, or like, we went to Walmart, but we went to go to have breadsticks at the Taco Bell Pizza Hut in the Walmart.
The hood now, baby.
Like, it wasn't anything, like we didn't have condoms, we didn't wear condoms, and I regret that, because we weren't informed. We weren't informed children. We were children basically having sex. So again, I don't regret it, but I regret it. As an adult, I wish I would have had an opportunity to wait a little bit. And later in life, I ended up having better sexual experiences, but not like this.
It wasn't the same, like you were still...
Yeah, it wasn't the same. And also, like, no one talked to me about, like, condoms or, like lube, or... I'm so glad, like, you said several things in your like, story about, like, you were worried about her, and you know, I'm worried about her more. I wanted her to have a good experience, and that's so great, because I feel like a lot of young men, women, whoever, young people who are engaging in sex for the first time aren't necessarily worried about each other. They're more worried about the male ejaculation or whatever the finish is, and not just simply being satisfied with your sexual experience. So that's great. I'm really glad that you had that. But there's a couple things that, like, you didn't know how to put a condom on. Like, why
It's been a
wasn't
while
that thing
since
that
I
you
went
like?
to school.
Why didn't you ask us that? Why didn't you like? You know that I'm sex positive, and like I would have just asked you. I would have told you anything, but you didn't even ask or nothing. So I'm gonna give you that talk now.
Awkward to ask your brother, like, you're about to have sex for the first time.
No,
Like,
I mean, now you're talking about it on my YouTube channel, so what do you mean? I mean, like, it really is, like, I'm gonna teach you now, and, like, I have some props here, which is what I keep looking down at, to, like, show you. Yeah. So, let's go over a couple things here. We've got these. Ooh, do you know what this is?
Something that I can't fit.
Don't say that.
Oh, okay.
This is a condom in general. I mean, this is a Magnum condom.
Yeah.
I have tons of them, first of all. Anyway, this is a Magnum condom. But there's different types of condoms for different people, for different preferences, for different sizes. And you really have to just kind of look at, like, look for what you like. I mean, if you're experiencing, I mean, first of all, I'm going to give you condoms and lube. Okay. But if you are experiencing or you want to experience sex, go on Amazon and have them ready. So then you can just have them ordered, so you won't have to have this uncomfortable experience. Go to a sex store. There are plenty of sex stores that, like, I used to go and get like a brown paper bag, and they were like 10 for 10, and you just select a bunch of different ones that you think you like. There's the lambskin ones, which are supposed to be super thin. There's, again, ultra thin. Trojan has ultra thin. You have these lifestyle ones. Lifestyle. You've also got flavored ones. Again, you've got Icon. These are large, not extra large. They're large. These are general size.
Yeah.
I have these condoms in my apartment because I give them to people like this, or like my friends who need them. I don't need them. I'm married, but I don't. I give them away, so it's not like I'm using all these different sizes. So don't try to clock me, girl. So just, you kind of have to look into what's good for you and also what's good for your partner. And like you said, she said she's allergic to latex, so you want to use non-latex condoms. Those are gonna be best. And also you want to use non-latex lube, because that can also trigger an allergic reaction as well.
Yeah.
And allergies to latex usually manifest differently, but sometimes it can be inflammation or irritation, and you don't want inflamed private parts touching each other and rubbing, because it's just going to make it worse. And it's not going to be a good experience for both of you. So we're going to practice putting one on.
Ooh.
How do you feel about that?
Probably more experience than I had yesterday, but yeah.
Yesterday? So we're gonna use this. We're gonna use this. Let's zoom in. Okay, so we're gonna use this. Scoot over.
Okay.
Hold it.
Alright.
And we're gonna use this. You can take it. Don't be afraid of it.
Oh, I already am.
Okay, I'll hold this for you.
Okay.
So what you want to do is you want to open it up.
I can even open it.
And they're lubricated, but this doesn't mean that you can only use. So they're lubricated, but you don't want to just use just the lubricant that's on this, because it needs to be able to flow well for everyone. Okay. Especially if you haven't been at it for, you guys were at it for a while.
Yeah.
So of course there was more self-lubricant from her.
Yeah.
But not every girl is the same. So some girls are gonna have a harder time lubricating than other girls.
Yeah.
So you wanna kind of give some time. They say 20 minutes, girl. 20 minutes of foreplay is perfect for both. But you never know. Everybody's different. So they also say that you want to use lubricant. So I've got some lube bottles here. We're not going to use them now, but these are some examples of lube. You want to use lube on the inside and the outside for both of you. So you want to say you're going to lube it up here. Okay, great.
Yeah.
You've lubed it up already. Now we want to put the tip on, and you want to go from tip and down.
Okay. Something like that.
Something like that. And it looks just like that. But you want to go all the way down to the base. You don't want to cover the testicles. So that's gonna be too much. Yeah. You want to go all the way down to the base, and you want to make sure that the condoms fit you. So this doesn't fit right? So see how it's like really loose, and you've got some extraness here?
Yeah.
You don't want that, because that's easily you don't want that, because that can easily slip off or whatever. Also, non-lubed on both sides can also break the condom. Also, having an old condom can break the condom as well. So you want to make sure that it's not expired, it fits you correctly, it is lubed on both sides, and you're ready to go. You know what I mean? And make sure if it hurts for either of you, stop.
Okay.
Oh, if you don't.
Okay, Malik, do you feel like you learned a lot, or do you feel like that was like nervous or nerve-wracking?
No, I definitely learned a lot for sure.
Yeah.
And talking to you, of course, I learned a lot, because you definitely know what you're talking about more than I do. So, yeah, for sure, I learned a lot.
So, if you want to follow Malik on Instagram, you can follow him at
The Quiet Black Guy.
Or you can follow me on Instagram, which I forgot.
What's not clicking?
If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Greg Scott or on Twitter at Greg Scott. And if you like that video and you want to see more videos related to sexuality or relationships, please give us a subscribe and a thumbs up. Also, comment down below. Let us know what it was like on your first sexual experience, or like what awkward sexual encounters have you had. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Bye.
A new style.